Hi, good morning and welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 994 and I am live in Southwest Florida at the beach. It's pretty stormy here this morning. No sun, did not see the sunrise, but it's still cool. Stormy days at the beach are fun too. We have some really cold weather headed our way. It's going to be a low of 34 tomorrow night, which we haven't had weather that cold since 2010. I remember because Marlon was in elementary school and I showed him the frost on the ground in the morning. Anyway, we'll wait a few minutes here before beginning so people can pop over from pre-chat and notifications. Got lots to share with you today. Hi Lisa and Grace, Marilee, Patricia, Lori, Emmy, Thea. Good morning everybody. Happy Friday. Hi Judy and Donna. Good morning. Yes, cold weather headed our way. We're gonna have a low of 34 tomorrow night. Hi Joe and Marcia, Judy, Julie. Good morning. Welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 994 and we are live in Southwest Florida. Hi Linda, Edie. I am snuggled up. Thea. Hi Barbara and Judy. And yes, Lori, it will not be good for iguanas. That is true. Hi Helen and Donna and Carrie. It is cold here today and only getting colder. We're going to have a low of 34 Fahrenheit tomorrow night, which is very cold for us. We haven't had weather that cold since 2010. So most likely my heat will be going on for the first time this year. I don't always turn my heat on every year, but this will be one of them for sure. It's going to get really cold in the house, and that's not okay for anybody. Not if you have the option. Okay, I have a treat to share with you guys this morning. So something crossed my timeline or feed, whatever you want to call it, on Instagram the other day, and it was showing how to turn any scarf into a hat and cowl combo. And they weren't showing it with handmade knit and crochet scarves, they were showing it with store-bought scarves. And I was like, well shoot, if you can do that kind of magic with a store-bought scarf, I'm sure you can do it with a handmade scarf too. And I did. It's so exciting. So I think for you to see what I'm doing, I'll have to take my sweater off. But I did it here with the Nikki Scarf this morning, but I brought a bunch of scarves to show you that you can do this with any scarf. Isn't that amazing? So now, let's say that you're a new knitter or crocheter and all you know how to make is scarves. Well, guess what? You can still turn your scarf into a hat too. I think this is just amazing. And not only make it a hat, but make it a hat and cowl combo. So here we go. This is the Nikki Scarf, but I brought 4 different scarves to show you that it would work on anything. So what you're going to do is wrap it from the front to the back, cross the 2 sides back to the front. And I like pulling this front down just a little bit to give me a little bit of room to work with. I'm going to take both of my tails and put them down the front. And as I do that, grab one of the pieces from the back, lift it up onto my head, and tighten the tails. How cool is that? So you can make it as snug as you want. You can make it as snug as you want here around your neck. You can make it as snug or loose as you want around your head. Now, let's see. I'm losing. Uh-oh. Okay, I think we lost reception, but I'm back. We do have some storms coming, so I don't know if that's the issue. I am back though. If you in and out, but we're back now. Can you see me now? If this doesn't work, I'll do a tutorial video today. Ah, shoot, it's not gonna work. I'm having reception problems here too. It's probably because of the weather, but just in case we can still go. Okay, I keep going in and out, so I think I'm going to end the show quickly here. Just a quick reminder to everybody, today is the last day to share your story for the 1000th episode. The form will be available for you to fill out through the end of the day. I'll send out an email reminder today as well. As long as we've got a little reception here, I'll try doing this technique with another scarf. This is the Cardi scarf, wrapping it from front to back to front, taking both of your tails and dropping them down the center, picking up one of the pieces from the back, wrapping it around your head, and pulling snug. There we go. And so now we have a scarf and a hat combination. How cool is that? Isn't that amazing? Looks like we've got reception again, so I'll show you on a couple more scarves. So I showed you on the Nikki Scarf, which was super long. I've shown you now on the Cardi Scarf, which isn't as long, and it still works. So you should probably try this with your own at home and see how it works. Here's the Peri Scarf. I'll show you on this one as well. The Peri Scarf, we're gonna go from front to back and front. And then make the loop a little bit loose so that you can tuck your both tails, both ends down the center, and then grab one of the pieces from the back and pull it up over your head. And then pull to tighten. Pull your tails then to tighten. And you could zhuzh this around, you could make this bigger and cozier, but isn't that cool? I think this is amazing. So even if you don't know how to make a hat, or you don't want to make a hat and you want your scarf to have multi-purpose, well, now you can. You can take any handmade scarf, any store-bought scarf, and you can wrap it to turn it into a cowl and hat combination, even if you don't know how to make a hat. I'll turn around so you can see the back as well. And since we're not losing connection again, let's try it on another one. So you know what else I brought? I brought a Cardi Wrap to show you that you could even do it with a Cardi Wrap. So this one has armholes in it, right? No problem. We're gonna wrap it from front to back to front again. Pull this so we have a little bit of volume. Take our both ends, tuck them down the center. Grab one of the backs and pull it up over your head and tighten. I love that I've done this on different weight yarns. I've loved that I've done this on different size scarves. It really doesn't matter. Now I do think that you could pay attention to how you wrap, kind of like when you're tying a man's tie, you know, one side should be longer than the other if you want these to be even. But if one ends up being long, wrap it around the back and you've got that too. Very cool. Anyway, if you don't have a scarf with you, or if you only have a scarf with you and you need a hat, what a great little technique to have in your arsenal for travel, or let's say that bad weather comes up. There's so many reasons that this would be a great trick to have up your sleeve if you have a scarf with you but you don't have a hat with you. Just amazing. Does anybody have any questions about that? I definitely messed up my hair, but oh well, that's fine. Do you have any questions? Do you want me to show you one of them again? I think it was helpful to see it in different colors and different textures, but I'm more than happy to do any of them again or go over it again if you have questions. It looks like our buffering thing might have gone away, hopefully. Thanks, Helen. I'll try, you know what, I'll probably set up my cameras at home today and do this in a standalone video too. I know when we're live, it's fun to interact, but sometimes the lighting isn't great here this morning, so I'll do this as a video at home today too, because I think this is a pretty cool technique to have. If you try it, please let me know what you think. It's a lot easier to do than I thought it was going to be. In fact, I'm pretty amazed. Does anybody have any questions? Like, it's easier than the knotted thing that we've done with scarves before. All right, if nobody has any other questions, I do want to share a little sneak peek with you. I was able to figure out my moon design yesterday, and check out my edging. It's not done yet, not totally blocked yet either, but I have my sun and my moon and my stars edging begun on my shawl. It's not done yet, but we're getting there. Oh, Lori, thank you so much. Isn't this adorable? It's not blocked yet. It'll be a little bit bigger than this when it's done, but I have added, so just, I did look up the quote that I love so much from Game of Thrones with Khal Drogo and Khaleesi. So it's a love story with a barbarian and a princess in the first season, and she tells him that he is her stars and her moon, or her sun and her stars, and he tells her that she is the moon of his life. I think I said that right. She says, you're my sun and my stars, and he says, you're the moon of my life. I believe that's the case. So I wanted to represent that in the edging of this shawl. So I added stars, suns, and moons. And I used all the colors that I had curated a while back for one of the sunsets that we shared here at the beach. So I used Be So Baby yarn in colors Ecru, Gold, Marigold, Prince, Periwinkle, and Indigo. Pretty cool, right? It's not done. I have several of my motifs made here. Oh, Judy, thank you so much. Thank you. So I did want to talk about a little bit of how I'm designing the scarf, or the shawl as well. So each of these colors, can you make a hat out of this shawl? It's not done, and I have tails, so I'm not going to try it right now, but I don't see why you couldn't. It would just have a point in the front. But look at how much yarn I have here. I don't want to try it right now, but we could certainly try that on Monday. We could try a triangular shawl. I could try it. It's hard, you know, packing everything up and taking it to the beach every day and putting everything in a bag. I try to organize things as best as I can, and I'm going to unravel my yarn to even try, but I'll try. I don't see why you couldn't do it with a triangular shawl, so you would wrap from, again, this is not done, but since somebody asked, I'm happy to try to help. Okay, so from front to back to front, tuck these in the front, grab one of the backs, and pull it up over your head. Yep, it'll work. It'll work. I'm just being super gentle with it right now because I don't want to unravel my work and I don't want to tangle anything. Like I said, it's still in progress, but I do believe that would work as well. I do believe that will work as well. So one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about is I'm probably going to unravel my last edging row. So I wanted there to be enough space in between the motifs since I was adding motifs to the edging. And so what I did was come up with a stitch pattern for the edging that used every other chain 5 space. I felt like if I did a dangle in each chain 5 space, there would be no space between the motifs and it would get way too busy. And so what I did was I alternated a type of a shell in between in every other chain 5 space. Can you see that? So it's a 5 double crochet, chain 7, slip stitch to a motif, chain 7, and 5 more double crochets all in that same chain 5 space, then single crochet in the next chain 5 space. And by doing that, it reduced the number of motifs by half based on the number of chain 5 spaces in the last row of the shawl. Now, having said that, oh, Gina, thank you so much. Thank you all so much for the super chats. I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you so much. So what's happened now, though, is that, oh, Joe, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm overwhelmed. Thank you. Okay, so obviously the amount of color A that you used is pretty minimal, and the amount of color B a little bit more, amount of color C a little bit more, amount of color D, E, and F. Each one, the bigger the V, the more yarn is used. I am running out of that 6th color as I'm doing that final edging row. And you know how I feel about having to dip into another ball of yarn. I'd really like this to be a 6-ball project, 1 ball each of 6 colors. And I think the only way to do that at this point is to unravel the edging row and switch back to a different color before doing the edging. So even though that last stripe here is in indigo, I think doing the actual shell and chain in either color periwinkle or color prince will actually tie all the colors together better and also give me the chance. Donna, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you. I think that will give me the opportunity to use one of the colors that didn't use as much yarn in their stripe, so that it will be dispersed more evenly among the yardage. Does that make sense? If that doesn't make sense, let me know. But I'm going to have enough yarn of the first 3 colors to do all of the motifs. So in order to keep it a one ball each of the 6 colors, I think I have to unravel that last row with the shells and the chains that's joining the motifs to it, because I'm halfway through the row and this is all the yarn I have left, and I don't really want to dip into that. So I'll show you. This is how much yarn I have left of periwinkle, the color previous to indigo, and so I think that is more than enough yarn to be able to do that last row. And again, just like with the Hadley shawl, remember how we did colors in one direction and then at the end we reverse the colors for the end? I think it really ties in the colors really well, so I don't think it will necessarily damage or hurt anything to switch back the colors in reverse to do that last row. So that's a little design detail I wanted to share with you, because when you're exploring and making things yourself, sometimes you may be close to running out of yarn, and you might want to think of, you know, is it possible to buy more yarn? Always, right? Or most of the time. Yes, it is. But let's say that you don't want to, and you want to try to use what you have, because when you're doing color work with increases like this, you're not using the colors. The yardage is not distributed evenly throughout each color. So by picking up the 3 smallest colors and doing the motifs in them certainly made sense. And I did them in that order because I thought suns, moons, and stars were appropriate in gold, marigold, and ecru, whereas the darker colors of the sunset color palette looked better at the bottom. So all of that made sense, but now that I'm at the very end, I'm realizing that I'm going to run out of that last color because it was the largest V and it needs to be the edging, so I'm going to unravel that row and replace it with one of the colors that I have a lot of yarn left of to better evenly disperse the colors throughout. Does anybody have any questions about that? That's a lot. I mean, it's great information, but I may have had too much coffee and I may be saying it too fast. I may be too excited about my scarf into a hat deal this morning. It's a lot of information. So if you want me to slow down and wait for questions, I can, or maybe that all made sense to you. But I do think it's an important thing to talk about. You know, in the real world, we do run out of yarn, and sometimes it's about figuring out how to make do with what you have, especially if you're anxious to finish. Thank you, Marla. Lori and Joe and Judy said it makes sense. Barbara does. Wonderful, wonderful. Hopefully this is helpful to you then. Sometimes it is very helpful to have plan Bs, right? What do you do when your first plan doesn't go to plan? And this also can apply, like let's say your gauge is different than what was listed in a pattern, and you're like, it's a scarf, it's a shawl, it's a whatever. A size doesn't matter. You're right, it doesn't matter until you're looking at the yardage estimate. Yardage estimates are based on gauge. And so if your gauge is looser or tighter, you may use a different amount of yarn. And so having a plan B for situations like this can be really important for that as well. Any other questions? Woo, it's chilly out here. All right, who wants to see me put on one of the scarves one more time? We could do the Nikki, the koa, the Peri, or the Chantilly lace. Whoever picks a scarf first, that will be the one that I demo again. So we've got the we've got the Nikki, the koa, the Peri, and the Chantilly. Which one would you? Yes, Judy, that's good. It makes sense and sense. Very clever. Yes. Okay, so let's do, I see Nikki and koa. We'll do both. All right, so we're going to take the scarf, we're going to find the midpoint and wrap it from front to back to front. And then loosen it up so that this front piece has a little bit of room so that you can take both ends and tuck them down the center. Grab any piece from the back. Pull it over your head and tighten. Done! Isn't that that amazing? Oh, and just in time, you got people are having storms up north. We're having cold weather down here. It's January and February, for goodness sakes. Of course we need something to keep us warm in cold weather. Okay, I heard another one for the koa, so we'll take the koa. And that's interesting. We went with the biggest one and the shortest one. So I can show you that can work on just about anything. All right, front to back, front. Leave a little volume in there. Dip the fronts inside. Grab one of the backs and pull it up over your head and pull the tails to tighten. Ah, look at that. Look at that. You wear that over your coat and you are going to be so much cozier than if you didn't have this technique. That's just wonderful. Oh, I know I'm really happy to have it today, that's for sure. Oh, look at that. Amazing. Oh, wow. Anybody have any other questions? And you could tuck this up inside if you wanted to. You could even just get rid of those all together, and then who would ever know what you made, right? This is like a cowl hat combination. You can't even tell that I did it with a scarf once you tuck them in like that. And that gives you a little more volume and a little more coziness too. So nice. Ah. Yes, stay warm and safe, everybody. All right, who would like to hear a quote? Let's pick. Looks like it's going to start storming here. We've got big storms coming. Hi, Marla. Okay, we're on to the next page of Volume 1 of Create, Share, Inspire Notebook, my creative writing journals that you can buy on my website or on Amazon throughout the world. Something that I've been doing myself for many years, but now sharing the style of which that I love to journal with all of you. This is Volume 1, Issue 1, and this is page 12. This is a Japanese proverb: fall 7 times, get up 8. Oh, man, so true, right? No matter how many times life knocks you down, no matter how hard it gets, you gotta keep going. Whew. Yeah, we all have rough stuff going on behind the scenes, huh? We all have stuff that we don't share openly and publicly, and you never know what's going on with someone else. You don't. But I'm sorry for crying. I have stuff going on. That's life, right? But in general, I need to hear this today, and so do you, and so does everybody. And whether it's one that you share with others or you just share with yourself. Fall 7 times, get up 8. No matter what life throws at you, you stay strong and you keep going, no matter what. Stay kind, stay strong, and stay strong for everybody in your life. We all need to hear that every day. That's right, Joe. Okay, all right. So, quick reminder, I'll send out an email as well, but today is the last day to fill out your form if you want to participate with your story for the 1000th episode of the show. And there will be a link in the video description. I'll send it out in an email today as well. What else? Try this. Try this. You have scarves at home. Whether you've made any one of these scarves that I showed you today, whether you have store-bought scarves or handmade scarves at home, try this. It took like 3 minutes to figure it out, and it's so cozy. So cozy. It's great under a coat. It's great on its own. Give it a try. If you like it when you try it, leave me a comment in this video today once it's no longer live. And if you had issues putting it together, ask me. I'll try to help you. And like I said, later today when I get home, I'll try to do a quick little tutorial video about it too, because I think seeing it in better lighting might help as well. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes with me. I hope you enjoyed our stormy beach with no sunrise today, the sound of the waves, the beautiful, mysterious colors at the beach today, my show and tell and demo, chatting with me and everyone else. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Wonderful weekend. Please remember to make time for self-care this weekend. And I will see you on Monday for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show. Stay warm and stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.